What's up, horror community? I'm Stock, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about Scream once again. And I say once again because my last video was on Scream. It was about the 9 Ghostface killers in the 5-film franchise. And I posted that video a little over a week ago, just about like a week and a half ago. And it seems like a lot of people enjoy the video. Like, there's some really good comments, a lot of good likings on it and views and just everything. It did really well. It seems like a lot of people enjoyed that, so I want to talk about Scream once again, and it's just something I love to talk about because I love Scream so freaking much. So this video is going to be about my top 5 Scream characters. So this could be any character that you see throughout the 5 Scream movies. It could be a killer, it could be a Ghostface killer, or it could just be any character besides that. It could range from smallest type of characters to most important. It doesn't matter. All that matters is my top 5 personal high. And this is tough to do because I love Scream so much. I say that every time I talk about Scream, but it's true. And it's hard to rank, and especially when I do like a top 5, because there's so many characters that I love. But I had to narrow it down. I had to pick my top 5, which was challenging, but let's dive into it. Let's start with number 5. Ranking in at number 5, and I gotta be honest, I gotta just say this, that the number 5 slot was very, very challenging for me. I'm gonna talk about the 3 people I had in mind for this spot. I had Mickey from Scream 2, one of the Ghostface killers, Gail, and I had Sidney, and it was a very tough toss-up for the number 5 slot. And this is a slot also that could definitely change on any given day, for sure. Like other spots I have certain, this number 5 slot could definitely change because, like I said, picking out of all of the Scream characters and out of that franchise, it's tough. Well, let's stop talking about it. Number 5 for me right now is Sidney. So I'm going with the main character in Scream, the final girl, and in my opinion, she is the greatest final girl ever in horror. I don't think there's anyone who is better than her and what she's done throughout all 5 movies. Apparently she's not in 6, but that is what it is. She has her own reasonings, but as like a fan of Scream, that's like, damn, like how's that stuff gonna hit? But that's different. That's for when I talk about Scream 6. Let's talk about 1 through 5 and just how important and how good she is in that main character role. So she's my number 5 because she's just very likable. And then when you're talking about a main character, you gotta be likable. You gotta want to root for that character. Especially, like I said, if you're in that main character role that the whole story is based around. And she's super likable. Like, she has every aspect to a character that you like. She's very smart. She makes mistakes, but they're relatable mistakes, and then she's also got a lot of badass moments to her where she sticks up for herself, or she messes up Ghostface when she's fighting him or beats him up or something, or just verbally stands up for herself, like when she like slapped Gail in the face in Scream 1. Like, all those kind of things make you want to root for her. I love how every Scream movie and their killers tied in with her, and I thought every time with her connection to the main killer was really well done. And the biggest thing I could just stress about her for being my number 5 is what I said, like how she is who I think is the best final girl of all time, which is, that's saying something after all the horror movies I've seen and how many of those characters I've seen, like especially like Halloween being my favorite horror franchise ever, and Laurie Strode, who's so iconic. I don't know, I just like, parts of me just think Sidney's just better. I just think she's better overall, but those are some of the key reasons why she is definitely my number 5. Like I said, Mickey and Gail are also like right there for my number 5 on a personal list. It's tough, like especially because Gail and her character growth throughout the movies, like how she was in 1 all the way throughout the series, is like one of the best character arcs you see in Scream. So I can't overlook that. And then Mickey, who I talked about in the Ghostface Killer video, is just one of my, who I think is the most underrated Scream character. I think he's fantastic in the reveal, just very slept on character, very personally high for me. So it was hard, it was tough, but as of right now, number 5 is Sidney. Ranking in at number 4, this is another slot that could change on any given day. 4 and 5 kind of blend together. But as of right now, ranking in at number 4 is Billy from Scream 1. So I've said it in the past, he is part of one half of the greatest Ghostface killers of all time. If it wasn't for Billy, I think Scream and Ghostface in general wouldn't be nearly as successful as he is today. His chemistry with Stu and everything they do together is just 10 out of 10. And just Billy as a character, I really, really enjoy. Like, I loved everything about him being Sidney's boyfriend in the first movie, and the obvious little things of showing he's the killer, and then you kind of don't think he is a little bit, and then he gets fake killed, and then he is the killer, and he's crazy in the reveal. And his impact of just how he is my favorite Ghostface by miles. Him and Stu, obviously, but how they are my favorite Ghostface by miles. It's hard to put Billy any lower on my list. He's definitely number 4. And also seeing him come back in Scream 5 was awesome. So seeing how they used him in Scream 5 and this character that from like 25 years ago, like he gets brought back, and that just shows how much of a goat he is right there. Like how they brought him back, and I love how they brought him back. So that gives even more layers to his character and to why I like him so much. There's so much to say about him, but I'm gonna leave it there. He's definitely my number 4 for now. Ranking in at number 3 is Stu from Scream 1. And in my last video that I was just talking about earlier, he ranked number 1. And the Ghostface killers, Stu was the best. There was no one better than him. But in Scream overall characters, he's my number 3. But a number 3 spot is definitely not bad. And what is there more to say about Stu that I haven't already said? He is my favorite Ghostface killer. He is the greatest Ghostface killer, in my opinion, in all ways. And that's just him and his performance, Matthew Lillard's performance in Scream. It's just, if I had to say it in one word, it's unforgettable. Like, you cannot forget his performance, and especially in the final act, once they reveal themselves as the killers, Stu and Billy reveal themselves. What Stu does in that, you can't forget that. Like, it's just excellent. Like, it's 10 out of 10. It's probably one of the greatest scenes I've ever seen in any movie ever, and especially his acting. Like, you could just, he lived that freaking part. Like, holy crap, he brought Stu to life so well. Like, he's like legitly spitting everywhere where he's yelling and stuff like that and just going nuts. And then you read about, and like as a Scream fan, you read about like how certain lines weren't planned. He kind of said that on the spot. Like, it's amazing. It's astonishing. And he's still a character that I look at Scream 6 and I'm still like, oh, will they bring him back? So that just speaks volume on how much I love this character. But Stu is just, he is the GOAT when it comes to Ghostface. Nobody better than him. And as a full-on character, I love him too. Even from the first time they show him in Scream 1, where he's making like the liver in the mailbox jokes and stuff like that, all the way to the ending with the reveal and the TV falling on his head. Stu is the GOAT Ghostface, but he is my number 3 on this list. He is not my number 1, but let's keep going for number 2. Ranking in at number 2 is Randy from the Scream 1, 2, and 3 as well in ways, and contributed in 5. But Randy is an excellent character. He was my favorite for a long time, and that recently changed with my number 1 slot, but he's still neck and neck with him. But Randy's just like, this guy's like the perfect character for a horror fan. Like, super unique. If I had to say him in a word, it's unique. And us as really diehard horror fans, like, Randy is us, like, brought on screen in a role of a horror movie, and you get to live through him. And like I said, the reason why he's so high for me and why I love this character so much is because of his uniqueness and his role in the Scream movies. He is one of the most rootable characters ever, and his memorable quotes and moments throughout the movies he's in is something you can never forget. Especially like the rules and stuff like that in Scream 1, of him saying the rules, him telling, like, for example, him telling Laurie Strode in Halloween, whose name is Jamie in real life, like him telling Jamie behind you, and Ghostface is behind him, like stuff like that. And the way it was delivered by Jamie Kennedy, the actor of him, was just perfect. And I'm so happy he was a survivor in Scream 1, and him saying like how the virgin survives, and he's saying like how happy he was to be one because he survived it. Just so rootable. And then him in Scream 2, like, I loved him so much. Like, I thought he was great. Like, a little more of an experienced version of him. Not a veteran, but like someone who's been through that trauma. And he brought that Randy charm once again into Scream 2. And when they ripped it away from you and he got killed off, I was like, like that sucks, because you feel robbed from it. You do. And like, it feels like it was too early to kill him off, and it took so many moments away from us as fans. But I've grown to love that, because you get robbed from it because you love that character so much. But he also killed it in Scream 3. He was amazing in the scene he was in. It's my favorite scene in Scream 3 for sure, when he's telling them the rules from his video he taped before his death. Just amazing. Randy he's an icon in the horror field for sure, and he is definitely my number 2. Here we go. Ranking in at number 1, the character who's getting the championship in this round, in this list, in this video, is Dewey from the Scream franchise. He was in all 5 of the movies. But yes, it is Dewey. So this is my favorite character in Scream. Such a franchise of a stacked character list. And Dewey is my favorite because of his arc throughout the movies and how much he went through all the way from 1 to 5 was amazing. Him in the first one was like the excellent build up to who this character was, but at that time he wasn't even close to being my favorite, but I liked him. And then Scream 2 with his chemistry with Gale, that's when he became the freaking GOAT for me. And when he almost died with like the stabbings in Scream 2 and he was up against the glass looking at Gale, one of my favorite scenes in Scream. That is such a great scene. When I saw him alive at the end, I was like, yes, like I was so excited. So that shows how much I love that character already. And then like you go on from there, you got Scream 3, where he was amazing in as well. Some of the best moments. He got the final shot on Roman in 3, which was, I was so happy to see that. And then in Scream 4, of his arc of becoming the whole chief, the sheriff. He was the sheriff of the whole town in 4, going from the deputy, the little nerdy deputy in the first one. And then in 4, you see him as that big role, which is awesome. And then 5, Scream 5. I love, like, he is easily the highlight of that movie. And that movie is so slept on by people, and especially him, his character in that is just so slept on. But that is such the perfect buildup of who this character was, of 25 years that you got invested in, that Scream fans grown to love so much, and seeing all the hardship that he went through from the Ghostface stuff, from losing his sister, from his relationship with Gale being so rocky and getting divorced from her, and just all the losses he went through in life through friends and everything through Ghostface. Him getting stabbed and having that trauma and having trouble walking. I feel like 5 was the perfect build-up of this character over the years and how he is in today's world in Scream 5. And he had such an awesome role that I'm so happy we were able to see, of helping the younger crew with Ghostface. He's like the veteran, you know, he's got like the gray hair and there'd be like this look of like this battered vet, which was awesome and badass, leading all the way up to his death, which I have talked about his death before. I'm not going to go off on it now, but all I'll say is like it's a massive love for me. Everything about his death and the emotion it makes me feel is 10 out of 10 for sure. And I can still think about that death, and like I think about Scream 6 and I'm like, what? Like, is he really not in that? Like, he's actually got killed off, and it affects me once again. And I kind of spiral back into that, like damn, he got killed off. I can't believe it. But it was just in such an excellent way. Like, it was just perfect death. Made me feel so much emotion. And even the stuff before his death, like when he was going up to Ghost, was so badass. Like, see him go right up to Ghostface and just fight him. It was just awesome. And then everything he even did before the fight with Ghostface in Scream 5. With like him reuniting with Gale and little moments like that, which were very emotional, just so good. I just think Scream 5 is very underrated, especially in the Dewey aspect. But yes, Dewey is my number 1. Rest in peace to the GOAT. Also rest in peace to Randy as well, and Stu if he's dead, and Billy, the other ones I've talked about. But especially rest in peace to Dewey, because he is the GOAT. I'm gonna hit him with it once again. I already did it in a different video, but Dewey deserves it once again. You are a barn burner of a character. Well, guys, there you have it. That is my top 5 favorite Scream characters of all time on such a stacked horror franchise of characters with so many good ones throughout all 5 movies. But when it boils down to it, that is my top 5. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Like always, it was a lot of fun to talk about, especially Scream, of course. But guys, I'll see you next time. Horror 31st.